This is the Hub on Hollywood. I'm James.
I'm Jamie. And we love movies. Oh my goodness, James. Like, I was just thinking about this a little bit today. Just how much do we love movies? And it's not just that it's not just entertainment. It's not just about entertainment, James. It's about giving you hope for the future.
Yes.
It's about feeling good. It's about sharing something with your family. Like, and there's just so much great stuff out there right now. I know there's a lot of bad things happening in the world, but there's just so much good content. And we're here to make you feel good. Thank you for joining us here on the Hub on Hollywood. Tell them where they can find us, James. Tell them
you can find us everywhere. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you very much. If you are, please hit that like button, hit subscribe. If you're watching us on Facebook, give us a like, share us with your mother, share us with your friends. You can also find us on Instagram, on all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at Hub on Hollywood. You can also listen to us everywhere, right?
Exactly. Anywhere that podcasts are heard, you can find us. Just search Hub on Hollywood. Go ahead and give us a little like, a little share, a little love. And let's get into it. We've got so much to talk about, starting with the brand new official trailer for the Loki series that's coming out on Disney+.
Yeah, and just when you thought WandaVision looked very weird and far out there, this one is like, hold my beer. Loki, the trailer dropped, and apparently it's filled with a lot of mayhem and wonder and mischief. So we will be checking that trailer out. Also, keeping within the MCU theme, we have the recap of Episode 3 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This is, I love the theatrical aspect of it, of how they're not stretching it out, but telling a story, building character, building world, and you're learning more and more of the universe, and a lot of new hints of what may be to come. But after that, we're hitting up these casting calls. We are your hub. We are your connection to Hollywood, and we're going to try to get you on the big screen with some local casting calls. And, we'll wrap up with what we're watching, which I'm sure is nothing but gold perfect stuff that you should
gold
be ashamed
standard.
of watching.
I'm kind of ashamed of what we're watching sometimes.
Yes.
You know what I'm not ashamed of? Our love for the MCU.
It just gets better.
It does. It gets better and better and better, and they really do it like no one else. The DCEU, they're so far behind. They've got to catch up. And one of the things that we really love about it is the fun aspect. It's not just about being dark and gritty and violent. It is a little bit about that. Fun. It's a little bit about that. It's a little bit about that. But it's also a lot about having fun, having solid characters, and just the way that everything is interconnecting now. It's never been done in movies before on this giant scale, because it's not just the silver screen anymore. It's now the streaming services. It's all of these shows. It was a slate of like 20 new shows and projects that was announced by Disney Plus last year. So this is what it's coming down to. We've already got WandaVision. We've already watched WandaVision, which is over. We've got the Winter Soldier, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is happening right now. Loki is coming out. The next. There's so many more. So many more. But let's start with Loki. Okay, why don't we just jump right into it? Let's watch this trailer. I haven't seen it yet. I think you've watched it once. So let's take a look, and we'll try to explain what we're seeing here along the way. So when you're ready.
3, 2, and 1. So Loki's captured?
Mm-hmm. What is this place?
This is like a
timekeepers have built quite the
timekeeping aspects
and
we're getting into.
Are playing their parts to perfection.
Waiting in long lines.
Metaphor guy.
Oh, look who it is.
Makes you sound super smart. I am smart.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Please sign to verify this is everything you've ever said.
This is absurd.
Oh, well, that's a waste of paper.
This is great.
Sign this too. We protect the proper flow of time.
You picked up the Tesseract breaking reality.
I want you to help us fix it.
So this is the variant Loki who escapes.
I need your unique Loki perspective.
Right.
Do I get a weapon?
During Endgame.
You really believe in this Loki variant?
Luckily, he believes in himself enough for the both of us.
Saying Loki variant as if there's many different types of
It is
Lokis.
adorable that you think you could possibly manipulate me. I'm 10 steps ahead of you.
You're not big on trust, are you?
You can trust me.
Loki, I've studied almost every moment of your entire life. You've literally stabbed people in the back like 50 times. Never do it again.
Tom Hiddleston is perfect as Loki, perfectly cast.
Oh, of course. Owen Wilson now getting his into the MCU, so that's going to be interesting to see. What do we know about these timekeepers? This is the first I'm seeing of this, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm not very aware of it. Also, it kind of reminds me, and this is just based off what I've seen in the movies, because I've read a few comics here and there, but I'm not in the lore like many other people are. But it kind of reminds me of, do you remember that scene where Stan Lee, he had a cameo, I believe it was in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where Rocky Raccoon and another character, they're flying through these different time warps or the different wormholes of some sort, and Stan Lee is talking to these people with these big giant heads. Apparently, they're like the overseers of the galaxy, of the universe, and they're kind of keeping a track on a tap on everything. And that's the kind of explanation for Stan Lee popping up in so many scenarios. He's working for them and kind of relaying information. And I feel like these people, kind of how in the trailer they said they're timekeepers or time. This is a location where they deal with time.
Time Variance Authority. So is the name
I think
of the
they're in
group.
charge of keeping everything in order, but because of what happened in Avengers Endgame with the whole time playing and timelines getting messed up or changed or altered, I think they're coming in and trying to fix the problem. And so Loki, he may have expert knowledge after getting out with the Tesseract, so maybe that's why they're pulling him into this whole fix the timeline mission.
It sounds they're kind of going into like Umbrella Academy territory here. I don't know if you've watched Umbrella Academy yet.
I've watched a few episodes and I know the general gist of it.
Yeah. So they're kind of violent, dark, and funny. I wonder what direction that they're going to be going with this and how it's going to tie in with the rest of the multiverse thing and the Multiverse of Madness, the Doctor Strange movie coming up. And it's a lot to keep track of. It's a lot to keep track of. I'm a little worried about this, though, James. I'm a little worried about the Loki series, that it might be a little too bloated, convoluted, hard to follow. I mean, you can't deny the charisma of Tom Hiddleston, like you said, and I really love Owen Wilson also. But is it just going to be a little too messy?
I'm not sure. I feel like, WandaVision, I feel like WandaVision set the bar or opened the window to possibilities of what you can do and what you can get away with. And I think WandaVision really pushed the boundaries and it broke many of them. And I think that helped set the stage for what we're going to be seeing in this world, which is dealing with time travel. Looks like teleportation of some sort. This secret coven of people who oversee time and space. I don't know. It is possible, but so far the MCU hasn't done me wrong, and they've been doing a very good job in building the world and building these characters. And so, just like WandaVision, I'm going in with an open mind. With Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it's much different, kind of going back to the MCU roots, kind of spy feel, like in the Winter Soldier movie, Captain America. So I'm all open for it. So I really like Tom Hiddleston, Owen Wilson. Wow, what's better than that? Oh wow, yeah. So I have faith. I'm staying optimistic.
Okay. All right, it sounds good. I've got cousins who like this is their ultimate most favorite character ever.
Yeah, he's
and
a favorite.
I mean I've just loved him in Thor Ragnarok was just my favorite Thor movie of all time. And it's the most watchable. I feel like I've watched it like 10, 20, 30 times already. And I love the Loki character in it. So hoping for good things here. Speaking of good things, James, Falcon and the Winter Soldier doing pretty well.
Yeah,
and I'm so sorry to interrupt, but so what I thought is really cool also too is that how, Avengers Endgame is leading into Loki. Now with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we're kind of getting like almost like a sequel to Captain America Civil War. A lot of people coming and being pulled in, and storylines being pulled in from the end of that movie now here in episode 3. So you have now watched it. You're all caught up. I can't wait to hear what you think.
Well, I thought my initial gut reaction is there's a lot more violence in this episode. Now, there's a lot of action. There has been a lot of action in the first 2 episodes so far, but when it comes to the violence meter, it's bouncing to the far edge. Not only is there one thing I noticed is there's a lot of shooting. We didn't see as much shooting in the first 2 episodes, and if I remember correctly, Falcon isn't carrying a gun as he was in Civil War and as he was in Infinity War and Endgame. He was kind of kicking ass with his wings and doing everything with his physicality. In this one, the guns are back and he's an expert at it. And so one thing I noticed was a lot more shooting, also a lot more knife stabbing and knife throwing, which leads me to believe that Disney is maybe experimenting, pushing the boundaries, seeing how darker they can go. Aside from the story plot, aside from that, they want to see how far they can physically go. And so that's one thing I noticed that stuck out to this one. And so I like it. I like it. I like the MCU and Disney pushing the boundaries again, considering it's not in theaters; it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, you were saying before we just started talking a little bit about, does this mean that we're going to see Deadpool on Disney Plus, right alongside like Bambi or whatever, and then you've got the ridiculousness that is rated R.
Because right now Deadpool and 1 and 2 isn't. I just checked right now; it isn't on Disney Plus, and there's no, it's no real. It takes no genius to figure out why. But I think with shows like this and pushing the boundaries, I don't see it taking long for Deadpool 1 and 2 and then potentially 3 coming out not only in theaters but also on demand on Disney Plus. So I don't know. I like the direction they're going.
No, me too. We see. We'll see. Now I really want to watch Deadpool. But anyways, let's get into this episode 3 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. A little bit of spoiler territory. Spoilers. So if you want to, go watch it and then come back and finish watching us. So we see Bucky and Sam sort of going off the reservation here. James, they're running into brick walls as far as finding the super soldiers, and so they're they're going to see Zemo. They're going outside of their comfort zone. They've run out of options, and they are taking the dangerous route of going to see Zemo. So if anybody who watched Captain America Civil War, he was the main villain, the true villain of that film. And he was the one who controlled, manipulated, and framed Bucky. I think it was for the assassination of King T'Chaka.
Yeah, that's right.
Is that right? And he was sort of pulling the strings because his family was killed in an Avengers battle. He wanted to destroy the Avengers from within. At the end, he sort of accomplishes that. Cap and Iron Man's relationship will never be the same, but even so, they're still Avengers. But in conclusion, Zemo is in jail. Zemo is in jail, and so they go and they see him in jail. And this is kind of a dangerous proposition because he has been known to.
Really quick. Sorry to interrupt, but I did like when Winter Soldier Bucky sees him behind the plexiglass. Zemo begins saying the words that activates the Winter Soldier just to see what would happen. Even though he knew nothing would happen, but he just wanted to see how Bucky would react. I thought that was really smart. Yeah, and it just plays into the whole psychological theme of this show.
which I thought was beautiful, which I thought was really, really great. So they're not only taking a physical risk here, they're taking a psychological risk because he could make Bucky backslide.
Yeah.
And that kind of does happen in this episode a little bit.
Falcon, at one point in the episode, Falcon's like, "You okay?" Because I would be as scared if I saw.
Yeah.
We'll talk again, kind of with the action scenes. You know, we get into that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, even Falcon was concerned.
And they end up helping him escape prison. They end up helping him escape prison so that they can go off and try to find these super soldiers. And you know they can't trust this guy. You know they can't trust Zemo. But, you know, he's in it for now to help them find the super soldiers and share the knowledge that he knows. And it gets predictably violent. It gets, you know, they're running with a bad guy now and bad things happen. So they team up and they head to Madripoor, I think is the name of it, right?
Yes.
Madripoor, which is this sort of gunslinging town. It's like the Mos Eisley Cantina of the MCU or whatever.
Yeah, and this is
sort of lawless.
This is a very interesting and important, I think, thing that Disney and the MCU is hinting at, because Madripoor is actually an island that's best known for its relation to Wolverine. And so this is going into that connection, again, laying the sprinkles. We know that Quicksilver in WandaVision wasn't the real Quicksilver from the Fox Studios universe. And again, there's still kind of questions with that whole thing. But in this one, Madripoor is a direct hint to the X-Men universe. And so is MCU sprinkling some stuff? Are we going to see some mutant action? I don't know. But
you know what? They're
that's a little hint.
They're laying the seeds. They're planting the seeds so that if a deal can be worked out, it can then flourish and grow. And it's just really cool. Like I was mentioning a little bit earlier, to go back and like watch some of the first Avenger movies and see how they planted the seeds that are now paying off in the forms of all of these films, all of these TV shows, and all of these relationships, and building the universe. And it's just wonderful. It's just wonderful. I just love it. I could talk about it all day. It's so much fun. But anyways, who do they find in Madripoor? They're trying to get information, but things go sideways very quickly. The entire island is trying to kill them, and they find Sharon, who is also from Captain America Civil War, granddaughter of Captain's great love, being brought back. Peggy Carter being brought back. And she's been on the run since Civil War. She didn't get a pardon. And she is a lot darker and rougher than we saw her in previous films.
It was funny because, and going back to the whole violent nature of this episode, or the violence escalating, one thing I really loved was all the stunt work. Really quick, in the whole episode, the stunt work was amazing. The fight scenes, the gun fights, the shooting, the knives, the twirling around, grabbing people with legs and arms. It was great. And Sharon Carter, she's nothing to sneeze at. She can take out a whole group of guys, and so that was really cool to see her in action. And but before they interacted with her, kind of going back to when Zemo, Falcon, and Bucky were trying to infiltrate and get more information, Bucky goes into Winter Soldier mode and lays down the smackdown on this entire this mob of henchmen. And that's what Anthony Mackie's character, he got concerned. You know, he's wondering, you know, is it possible for Bucky to snap back into the Winter Soldier? And that may be foreshadowing for something in the future. But the action, again, going back to the action, very good in this episode.
I'm a little worried for Bucky's character, though, because when he snaps into Winter Soldier mode, because they're all playing a part, right? They're all dressed up, they're playing these characters, and that's the only way that they're going to get to this woman who has information. When Bucky is laying the smackdown in the bar before they go see the woman, there were people taking videos and pictures. So what does that mean for his character? Is he going to lose his pardon? Is he going to become a criminal again on the run? Like, this could have very dire consequences for Bucky in the long run. So that part I'm worried about, and I kind of genuinely felt worried about it. So that's a good sign that I actually, care. And I thought it was funny, the whole dancing and music scene. And Zemo
knows how to dance.
Zemo's
maybe not knows how to dance, but he likes to dance, seems like.
Yeah, it's so important to have those fun scenes mixed in with all of this violence. but it's great. Yeah.
And one thing that in this episode we didn't see too much of the new Captain America, John Walker,
No.
but we did get some scenes with him trying to find more information, trying to also uncover the doses for the super soldier serum, and I can already see him, in the first episode, we are shown a side of him that makes us compassionate for him and rooting for him. Like, this isn't a bad guy. He's a good guy with a great history and wants to do the right thing. But you're starting to see more and more of his flaws. And I think a little part of that is I think he has this ego. And now he's trying to prove himself after getting his butt whooped. And I think what we're going to be seeing is him going towards or trying to acquire said super soldier serum and take it himself, because he wants to be and live up to what the original Captain America had already created and done, but he can't do it as a normal mere human. And so I think he's going to down the road get his hands on super soldier serum, and taking that, I think it's going to not only enhance his strength but also enhance his ego, and that's going to be his downturn and possibly become the new villain. And there's a whole comic lore.
Is this Sam you're talking about?
No, John Walker, the new Captain America.
Oh, John Walker. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so we saw a little bit about him, and we're seeing more of how angry and quick to anger he can be.
Definitely,
and he's trying to prove a point, trying to prove something that he's worthy of the shield and all that. So I think this is laying breadcrumbs or hints that he's trying to prove something, and he's going to do anything to be the best soldier, best Captain America possible, and that may mean swiping a dose or taking a dose of the super soldier serum. Yeah.
But what is it? Pride goeth before the fall.
Yes.
That will always be his weakness, a weakness there. So yeah, we'll see. But that's I love it. Yeah, there's plenty that could happen here. So the episode ends with them tracking down this scientist who actually created the super soldier serum.
There you go.
From the Black American super soldier who was essentially locked up and tested on, and he used his blood. Yeah, exactly. And then we learn that those vials were stolen by the Flag Smashers. They made themselves into super soldiers, and that there were 20 vials. So the Flag Smashers, there's like 8 of them. There's like eight
left, yeah.
Right? So where are the other 12 vials? Where are the other 12 doses? So that is something that will come to fruition at some point. We'll find out where the rest of those doses are also. So
yeah, we saw after that, we saw Zemo kill the Doctor, and then they make their whole grand escape. Zemo shows off his shooting skills, fighting skills with his purple mask, and so that was pretty cool. I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah, that's his comic getup. Yeah.
Yeah, and at the very end of the episode, we get Bucky running into. I think the character's pronounced Ayo, and she's a Civil War. She's a Wakandan soldier, and we've seen her in Civil War. We've seen her in Infinity War. Not one of the main characters, but she's had some definite scene stealer moments, especially when she stood face to face with Black Widow. Anyway, so she pops up, and this connects to the whole thing with Zemo. He's still on a lot of people's bad list, and he is responsible for T'Challa's father's death by blowing up that I think it was at the UN in Civil War, and so she shows up and says, "I'm here for Zemo." And that's where it cuts off.
They haven't forgotten.
Now the Black Panther universe is sucked into Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Awesome.
Wonderful. Yeah, exactly. So I love the breadcrumbs. We were talking a little bit about Black Panther also before we hopped on here, and what that is going to look like, the future of Black Panther there, because as we all know so sadly that we lost
Chadwick Boseman passed away.
Chadwick Boseman, our Black Panther. So what are they going to do? Where are they going to go from there? Are they going to recast him? I highly doubtful. Are they going to go with his sister being the next Shuri? We'll see. I kind of almost wish that
Shuri.
I kind of almost wish that they would recast him. But I know I can see how that wouldn't play very well for a lot of other people. But, you know, Shuri's got the power. Shuri's got the brains. I'd like to see her team up with Spider-Man. Oh, my gosh. I would love to see Spider-Man, like, make a little cameo in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I would love that, but I don't think it would because Sony, they're not going to put Spider-Man in it. I would love that, but realistically, unfortunately, I don't think that would happen because, again, Sony.
Exactly,
and,
but
they're not going to
their
promote
battle
something when he's not in their movie.
Their battle in Civil War was just so hilarious.
Yeah,
and
great.
It was so funny. It was so great. Like, and the actors just have this natural rapport with each other. I'm just looking forward to seeing those characters interact again. But anyways, I'm rambling, James. The future of the MCU looks bright. I think the next movie out is Black Widow, actually, July. This has gotten pushed back over and over and over again, but set for release now, July 9th of this year, and then Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness after that. And Black Widow is a kind of a standalone prequel because obviously she's dead right now. So
so she's dead. So I think we don't have to go much into it, but what's her name? Jennifer Pugh. The other actress in the Black Widow movie. I think she's going to be, or I think we're going to see more of her in the future. I think they're bringing in a new Natasha kind of person, Black Widow person, and we're going to be seeing her. But that's yet to be seen.
And Spider-Man 3, the third standalone Spider-Man movie this December.
Yes.
That's the big one. That's the big one. Yeah.
Let us know what you think. Have you seen? Are you on the Falcon and Winter Soldier? I know it took me a week or two to start watching it, but no, I highly recommend it. So far, so good, and I think it's only getting better. So let us know what you think. Comment down below. If you haven't already, please follow. Please like us. We are on all the social medias: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram @Hub on Hollywood. If you're watching us on YouTube, smash that like, smash that subscribe button. Listen to us on any of the major podcasting streaming services. We are there. Well, let's take you. Where we should take you? We should take you to Hollywood. We're gonna take you to Hollywood.
Come with us, Hollywood.
How's that?
Come with Jamie and James to Hollywood.
Hollywood. Well, guess what? You don't have to go all the way to the West Coast to have the Hollywood experience because you know what? They're filming stuff here in New England in the Boston region, and we have the lowdown. We have the 411 for you. So look at me. I'm just rambling.
No one calls 411 anymore.
No one calls 411. It's 311 over here, right? Okay, so let's go right into it. Slade Casting. They're looking for, this is a non-union gig, looking for brothers ages 8 to 12 years old with their parents. They're looking for outgoing personalities, a lot of energy. If this is cast, if you are cast, you get $1,000 per person for a one-day shoot. You must be available for a potential Zoom callback on April 7th or April 8th. Shooting dates is April 14th and the 15th. So if you're interested, this is for not sure exactly what kind of project this is, but a lot of energy. As long as you got the energy, you'll probably get the money. But if you're interested, send your photos, family photos, names, ages of kids, contact information. Send all that information to slaterealpeoplecasting@gmail.com. slaterealpeoplecasting@gmail.com.
Okay, and Boston Casting is looking for actors who are able to portray Dennis Haysbert and J.K. Simmons. They are apparently working on a project, a commercial project that is shooting in Boston at the end of this month, and they are looking for actors who look like them. Who look like Dennis Haysbert and J.K. Simmons, shooting at the end of this month. It's a half-day shoot. If you think that you have these looks, go ahead and send a headshot, resume, and where you're based to Boston Casting Submit 5@gmail.com for that opportunity.
Really quick, if anybody over here looks like J.K. Simmons, that's money in the bank. Like that,
yeah, man.
Like he's A-list actor in like almost everything right now, and especially head first again into the MCU. And so if you look like J.K. Simmons, I'm sure there's a lot of business, a lot of reoccurring business that could come your way. So yeah, if you know anybody that looks like J.K. Simmons, send them this link. We're also looking Slate Casting, looking for 2 African American men to work as stand-ins for a pair of public figures in an upcoming TV commercial. This is SAG, but they're also taking in non-union members. Now they're looking for one stand-in who is African American, male, 5'5" to 5'7". The second stand-in, they're looking for an African American man, 5'9" to 5'11". Now, those who are interested must be available for April 20th through the 25th, and they could work. You need to work all 6 days. Apparently, there's great pay. I would double check with that, but they claim there's big, great pay. So if you're interested, send your name, your SAG or non-union information, phone, email, headshot, acting resume, height, and recent photos of yourself in good lighting. Send that to slatecastingextras@gmail.com. So look at that.
Okay, sounds good. And the Showtime series Dexter, again, still filming this month and next month in the New England region. There is just a slew of opportunities there for background actors. I think most recently they were looking for people who were able to portray parents. And then there's just so many dates. A lot of work to be had there, so that's really fun. That's really cool. Lots of COVID testing, though, that you have to get done ahead of time. That is pretty standard across the board for any of these opportunities. If you want to learn more about those, you're going to want to sign up with bostoncasting.com. Put your information in there. Get the notifications, get yourself on TV, and then you'll say, "Thank you, James. Thank you, Jamie. I'm a movie star now."
We owe you
you're
everything.
welcome.
We'll give you residuals. We'll pay you. Thank you so much. We'll take it.
Hey, my best
Oh my
friend.
goodness.
Anyways, yeah, love us, and we would love to hear that kind of a story if it actually did happen. So share that with us.
You'll be on the show.
Yeah, we'll have you on, and you can tell us all about it. So those are our casting notices for today, and then we'd like to wrap things up, James, with what are you watching now? What are some of the things you've been watching?
So this movie has been stuck in my head for 26 years now. I saw this movie. It must have been on VHS, but this movie came out in 1994, and I for some reason, because recently there's this great show on YouTube called Corridor Crew, and they have VFX visual effects artists who react to stuff, and they also invite stuntmen, and they actually brought a clip of a stunt involving a plane falling out of a car, and it was from this movie Terminal Velocity, starring Charlie Sheen in 1994 at the height of his power. And and that movie, again, as a child, I saw it very, very young, but I remember, it was pretty entertaining. You got skydivers. Basically, it's a movie about a maverick skydiver played by Charlie Sheen and a former KGB agent. They team up to stop the Russian mafia from stealing gold. Now, that's a great, I guess, quick synopsis of the story. In the movie, it takes you like an hour and a half to figure out what's going on. It's not a good movie at all. But my girlfriend and I watched it recently, and that's when I realized I must have had beer goggles or whatever. But it's a terrible movie. But the stunt work in Terminal Velocity is so good. So I would Google that at least. Maybe don't rent it. I rented it. I'm not sure if I regret it, but but that's what I watched recently. Sometimes I pick terrible movies from the 90s and 80s. You have to revisit to find out, was it really that good? And most often than not, it wasn't that great.
No, speaking of James, something that I was just watching last night, because it popped up on HBO Max, and we've talked about this before, was the movie Secretary. And it came out in 2002. This is starring Maggie Gyllenhaal and James Spader. And when I watched it in 2002, I was like, wow, this is amazing. So it's about it explores the relationship between a dominant lawyer and a submissive secretary and their just crazy like BDSM relationship. And I went back to watch it because I remembered it was actually like kind of, I don't know, romantic in a weird way. And it was just very interesting. It was very different, very interesting. It is awful. It was not at all what I remember. And it would just not pass the smell test nowadays post Me Too. Like, this guy's a terrible employer. He should be in jail. He needs to be in jail. Not as a respectful a relationship as I remember or seem to remember.
I agree. In Terminal Velocity, my girlfriend and I were watching it, and there's some parts where like, whoa, you cannot do anything
can't do
close
that
to
anymore.
what some of these people are doing. And at the time, that was funny and kind of like, oh, you
Like
know,
for laughs.
guys, like, whoa, no.
Yeah.
Charlie Sheen. It's a good thing Me Too didn't
there was a
happen in
lot of that
'94
back then,
because,
but
yeah. No, but
anyways,
so if you want to watch.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you want to watch terrible movies, Terminal Velocity and The Secretary, I
Right,
guess, are
right.
number ones for this week.
For
What are you
this
watching?
week, yeah,
What
exactly.
terrible movie do you recommend? What terrible movie or great movie you thought was great at one point and then revisited and found out, oh my God. Let us know down below. We may watch it. I want to see that movie. So, yeah, let us know.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put up like a poll on Twitter or whatever, like for exactly that, because I'm really interested to see what that would be. So this has been really fun. Thank you for joining us on the Hub on Hollywood. Find us anywhere, Hub on Hollywood. Like, share, comment, love us, like us, gotta have us. Until next week, I'm Jamie.
I'm James. Bye.
See you.